Warner Brothers is taking a big gamble by releasing their entire slate of 2021 films to HBO Max at the same time it releases them in theaters. This means the newest Denzel Washington as a grizzly veteran detective movie, The Little Things, is available for most of us to watch in the safety and comfort of our own homes. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm on the couch. All right, this is Ronald, and I am on the couch after watching The Little Things on HBO Max. Should have been in theaters. Actually, I think it was released in theaters, but I watched it on HBO Max. The Little Things, written and directed by John Lee Hancock, starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. Leto? Could be either. This was a part of the Warner Brother push to take everything that was in theaters and release them on HBO Max at the same time. I think it was part of their push to get more of the properties on HBO Max and push more subscribers to HBO Max so they can recoup the money that they're losing by people not going to theaters to see movies. Now, let me first start off by saying I am an advocate for streaming. I love the theaters. This podcast obviously is named Leaving the Theaters. I love being in the theater, love the theater experience, all of that. When the pandemic began, I was also very much an advocate for putting movies on streaming services as quick as possible so that we could see them. Christopher Nolan disagrees with me. He forced us to go to drive-ins and theaters to see Tenet, which I didn't enjoy that much. It wasn't bad, but I didn't enjoy it thoroughly as much. So I've been loving this idea of putting things in streaming at the same time they're in theaters, giving people an option, and so we can actually see the work that's done. With all that being said, The Little Things is this this isn't a good movie. This is not a good movie at all. It's a movie about a detective who goes to his old stomping grounds and finds a familiar case and helps a younger detective to solve the case. And that's the whole film. It's Denzel Washington is the old detective, Rami Malek is the young detective, and they work together. If this sounds familiar, because this is a role that Denzel Washington has been playing a lot for the last 10 years in terms of the mentor actor role, he's playing opposite a very young and upcoming actor. He did it in Two Guns, Safe House, and Unstoppable. Two Guns would be the only exception because that was Mark Wahlberg, and I wouldn't exactly call him a young and upcoming actor, but pairing him with Denzel Washington, they seem to be doing that a lot. Safe House, Unstoppable, I believe there's one called the Seven something. Chris Pratt was the opposite young person in that one. This one, it was Rami Malek. And normally it works. I enjoy seeing the banter between, the seasoned Denzel acting versus whoever this young upstart is, and the whole mentorship role that often takes place between the two people as one of them is kind of training the other. And typically they're in roles in which one is also schooling, where Denzel is schooling whoever the young person is. In whatever case it is. This movie was so boring. It was so boring. The first hour I was regretting choosing this movie. It's not compelling. I think it thinks it is. It is most certainly not. The acting is great. Like the performances are fine, but the performances do not overcome a bad story. So watching them act well was not enough for me to be engaged in this movie. I stopped it a lot. I broke it up by doing other things. There was some phone scrolling, all kinds of other things happening during this movie. I don't think this movie would have been good in theaters, so I'm not surprised that it was released to a streaming service. And it might have been serviced better if it would have been a TV show, if they would have just broken it down as a TV show and, you know, added some more elements on it. It reminded me of a worse version of the second season of True Detective. You know, we all loved that first season, but that second season wasn't quite so good. But imagine having even less action and it just being more boring somehow. And that's what this was. It was just very boring. Nothing really happens throughout the duration of the movie. Even the big scenes at the end, nothing much happened in them either. It is 2 hours and 7 minutes long, and I don't know why. Should not have been that long. In a lot of ways, it was kind of like a bad James Patterson novel. It just wasn't good. Was not good. And it's funny because we've seen Denzel Washington in a James Patterson novel. We've seen him play, you know, the old hat the old hat detective who's like brilliant, can figure things out. And he did some of that in this, but it just sits there. It's boring. There's really not much more to say about that, which might make this my shortest review ever, but I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this. I don't think I'm going to find many people arguing about it not being a boring movie with nothing else going on in there. Yeah, I love Denzel Washington. I love Rami Malek. Don't really care about Jared Leto, but yeah, this ain't it. I don't want to subject you guys to a long review for something that just is not worth your time. So yeah, I would give this movie 1 of 5 stars. And with that, Leaving the Theater is a production of ohitsBigRon Studios. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. To find out more about this show and other ohitsBigRon Studios shows, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ohitsBigRon. That's at ohitsBigRon. If you like this show, check out our sister show, Time Well Spent. Leaving the Theater will be back soon, but until then, I'll be here on the couch.